Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through all levels yoga. We will practice together for 45 minutes today. So just a reminder to listen to your body through class. If any of the stretches do not work for you, please skip them, come on out and modify. Things that you'll need for class today is you'll want to have a yoga mat, and you may want to have the yoga blanket and blocks. So those are really nice props to have. If you don't have them, they're definitely not a necessity for class today, but they can be nice just to help you out in some of the poses. Brings the ground a little higher up, can pad the ground if it's a little tough on the knees or the hips or the back or something like that. So nice option to have, but definitely not a necessity. So as we get started, let's find a comfortable seated position. And as we begin today, I wanted to start with a poem that I came across that ties in very nicely to the yoga practice. It's about yoga. When I read this, I just feel that it really describes how yoga speaks to us on a deeper level, more than just the yoga poses. And I'll begin to share this. So yoga is not about the pose. It's not the alignment of toes or hips or shoulders. It's not about the form. Yoga is an invitation to explore, not a command performance. It speaks the language of the soul. In the flow of breath and motion, yoga coaxes us from the confines of the known across the silent threshold into vastness. Yoga is the union of prayer and movement guided from inside. It is healing in the joy of saying yes to life. Breathe, relax, and feel the body receive its own truth. The seed of freedom flowers within each of us whenever we are open to what is real. So I just thought that was so beautiful, and just such a nice reminder too that yoga isn't always about the pose, the stretch. Personally, for me, yoga is a really nice time to relax and release the day, to de-stress a little bit. It also feels to me like a nice opportunity just to connect back to myself, to connect with my breath, try to be more present and mindful. So, as we go through class today, maybe just thinking to yourself, what is yoga for you? Maybe it's a way to stretch. Maybe it's a way to relax. Maybe it's a way to strengthen. So I think that's the greatest thing about yoga, is it can be so many different things. As we go through class today, I was thinking about doing a practice where we work a little bit with our sun salutations and also earth salutations. And the thing about the salutations that I love is that there are a lot of different variations. There's so many different ones, and they're all good for different things. And the salutations can be really good for increasing flexibility, building strength, helping you relax. I also love the history of the salutations as well. Yoga came from India thousands of years ago, and people would be so grateful to see the sun rising, and they would go out and, almost like a prayer and offering, they would greet the sun each morning with these salutations. And that's kind of where we get that term sun worshiper from. So I just think that that's really beautiful and helps us connect back to the lineage of yoga. So I'd love to start with earth salutations today. And these are really nice because they are very grounding. A lot of the times, where our hands are on the ground, our legs are on the ground. So it's this very grounding sensation, which is really nice if you feel a little stressed out. And we will work with different back bends. So it also has this element of really heart opening. And, just really good to help us with that posture, to work with our back a little bit more, open up our shoulders more, and work on lengthening the front of the body, work on tightening up some of the muscles in the back of the body, just to hold our body more upright, be more imbalanced. So let's do a little centering in a child's pose today. And as you come into child's pose, if you would like, you could grab your blanket, maybe do a little padding for your knees there. And child's pose, there are many different variations. So one option we can do is knees will be together and then folding over the legs. And what this will do will really help to open up your low back. So if you feel your low back is a little cranky, that might be a nice option for you. But if you feel that your hips could use a little bit of opening, maybe take your big toes to touch and then have your knees come away from one another. And we are just going to center here. So just letting yourself relax into the stretch. Maybe feel your hips moving down to the heels as you exhale. Maybe feel your heart, lowering down to the ground as you exhale. And then breathing deeply into your low back, mid back, and upper back. Let's take a moment to connect with the breath. And sometimes when we have our stomach on the tops of the legs, it can feel a little bit compressed, but try to breathe as deeply and fully as you can. So as you feel that compression in the front body, maybe you can feel a bit of an expansion in your back body and maybe in the sides of your body. It's always really nice to move through the yoga practice with an intention. And that's just a goal, a desire, something that you would like to gain from this next 45 minutes. Maybe it's that you want to relax. Maybe it is that you've been sitting a lot through the day, the body's a little stiff, a little cranky, and it'll just feel really great just to move the circulation, get the blood flowing in the body. Let's take a moment to engage the core, and we're going to come on forward into a tabletop position. Now, as you take table, we're going to have our hands in line with our shoulders. We will take our knees in line with our hips. Coming up onto your knees, let's take a nice deep full breath in. Bringing yourself into a child's pose as you exhale. Core engages. Let's roll forward through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. We'll find knee down plank here. We'll take a reverse push-up down to the mat, so chaturanga. And let's bring it into a sphinx pose. We're just gonna let our hands glide out in front, elbows in line with your shoulders. Breathing here. And feel free to take opposite arms for just a moment. So we want to feel that our fingers wrap around the outside of the upper arm. We don't want the elbows to be too far. We want to create a nice strong foundation here. Feel free to stay here. If you want to lift up, you can. So hands press down, elbows lift up, elbows wrap in. And this brings us into low cobra pose. This brings us to Bhujangasana. And if you wanted more, you could straighten out the arms. You could take this time to reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Lower down to the mat. Let's take a nice deep full breath in here, and we're going to lift into a down dog on the exhale. Toes curl under, hips to the sky. And then as you take down dog, maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. Maybe relax your head yes, and relax your head no. And really just trying to get grounded in the hands. So as much as you can, try to bring your weight back into your heels and into your feet. So we want to feel a little bit of a sensation of a lightness in the hands. Sometimes we put a little bit too much weight in those wrists. So try to bring that weight back into your heels. Knees are going to lower. We're going to bring those hips to heels. Heart softens down, back through to child's pose. This one's called Garbhasana in Sanskrit. We're going to take our inhale, rising onto our knees, bringing your hands at your heart as you exhale. So that was one earth salutation. You can try another. We're going to take our hands up to breathe in, and we're going to come on down to breathe out. Floating forward, coming into that knee down plank position. And reverse push-up down. Let's come into a boat pose from here. So bringing the arms behind your body, fingers will interlock, palms will touch, and let's begin to lift up. So this is a yoga mudra variation with the hands, and we're lifting into boat. This one's called Navasana. And let's really try to lift the chest and lift the legs as high up off of the mat as possible. Maybe feel yourself reacting to the breath. So as you inhale, feel yourself lifting up, moving deeper into the back bend. And then on the exhale, maybe feel how you find a bit of softness in the pose. You feel yourself lower down a bit. Let's begin to come down. Breathing here, exhale. Let's bring it back on through to down dog. And again, let's create a bit of movement here. So the movements in some of the poses are really nice because it just helps to warm up the muscles. Just finding that fluidity in our body. And last down dog, we talked about bringing the weight into the heels. And another nice way to do that is to really fan out the fingers nice and wide. Maybe try to press down through your index finger and your thumb. That can be a nice way to distribute the weight in the hands. As you come to stillness here in down dog, let's take our knees down, hips to heels. We're going to float it into child's pose. Rising up onto the knees, we'll inhale, hands sweep up. And then hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's take a breath in, we'll reach to the sky. Float yourself down, let's bring it through to child's pose. Rippling forward through the spine, we'll bring it to a knee down plank position. Lowering all the way down, let's try for a variation of cobra pose, Bhujangasana. So for this one, we take our hands underneath our shoulders and we'll try to glue those elbows into the sides of the body so we don't want to come out to the sides too much. Press the tops of your feet down. And sometimes we come into poses, we think the higher the better, but this one's a little different. We are going to aim to lift to our navel. So if you can't lift to the navel, that's okay, but we also don't want to lift higher than the navel. So the reason why we want to aim for the navel is because it will really help to strengthen our mid-back. And in yoga, we have so many different back bends and they all have different benefits. And this one is really good at targeting that mid-back area. And we don't have tons and tons of mid-back strengthening stretches, but this is one of the best ones. And we'll bring it down. Let's take a nice full breath here, lifting back through to down dog on exhale. Let's hold this one for 3 breaths. Let's try to lengthen through our spine. Lengthen through the backs of the legs. Feel the sitting bones reaching and stretching to the sky. And try to relax your head and neck as best as you can. Knees will float down. Child's pose. Rising up onto the knees, hands to the sky. And hands at the heart. Let's go for one more. Hands up, inhale. Hands at heart, float it down, child's pose. Bring it forward, knee down plank. Reverse push-up down to the mat. Hands will be in line with your shoulders. Walk your hands off to the sides of the mat, maybe a foot on one side, a foot on the other side. Elbows to the sky, glue the tops of your feet down, and then lifting up as high as you'd like here. So if you'd like to make this one easier, walk your hands further away from your body, and then have a bend in the elbows. And then if you wanted to make it more challenging, you would work on straightening the arms. And you can also walk those hands into your body a little bit more. That would just give you a little bit more of a back bend. Lowering down when you're ready. Full breath here. Let's bring it back on through. Downward facing dog. And giving yourself that nice deep full in breath and a nice deep full out breath. Knees will begin to lower. We'll float those hips to heels. Heart lowers, rising up onto the knees. Full breath in. And then hands at the heart on your exhale. Let's come on forward. We're going to float into that down dog when you're ready. And from down dog, let's walk our toes to our hands. We're going to land in a forward fold. Now, as you take your forward fold, let's bring ourselves into a halfway lift here. So hands onto the shins. We will lift the spine and lengthen. Fold yourself down. Let's rise up, taking a full breath in. And then drawing the hands at the heart as you exhale. So let's now try a knee down sun salutation. These are really great if you feel like your quads are really tight, your hip flexor and psoas right in front of the hip there. If those feel really tight, especially if you're sitting a lot through the day at the desk, driving, all of the things. I feel like we sit a lot, even at home, right? Watching TV, eating, all the things. So this will really help to stretch those muscles out. So we're going to start by bringing our hands up to the sky. We're going to float ourselves down. We'll breathe into a halfway lift. Let's plant the hands. We're going to take our right foot back. Right knee will lower. Hands will reach to the sky as you inhale. Now for this one, let's try to be on the upper part of the right knee. That tends to be a little bit of a softer part of the knee, a little bit fleshier part of the knee. Let's bring our hands down. We're going to take a nice full breath in here, and let's press it back to a down dog on the exhale. Right leg, let's bring it up to the sky. That brings us to a 3-limbed dog. Right foot forward, left knee lowers. Hands will reach up when you're ready. And just see if there's space for you to really drop those hips down. See if you can get a little bit more of a stretch on this one. Hands will come down. Let's bring our left foot to meet our right foot. We're going to bring it forward, fold. Find your way to a half lift. Bring yourself down, rising up on the inhale. Hands at the heart. Exhale. Bring your hands up. Inhale. We'll go for the second side here. Float it down. Halfway lift. Let your hands, left foot back. Left knee lowers. Hands reach up to the sky when you're ready. Now see if you can create a bit of a sensation of squaring the hips and the shoulders forward here. Hands will float down. Let's press it back through to downward facing dog. Left leg floats to the sky, 3-limbed dog. Left foot forward, right knee lowers. Let your tailbone tuck here. Feel the navel move back and up to the spine slightly. Create that nice long line of energy through the spine. Hands will come down. Let's bring that right foot to left. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold to the earth. Rise up on the inhale. Take the hands at the heart. On the exhale, let's go for one more knee down sun salutation A. Hands up. Float it down. Breathe to your halfway lift. Let your hands, right foot back, right knee lowers, hands to the sky. See if you can relax your shoulders away from the ears. So create a little bit of space here between the ears and the shoulders. And then feel the shoulder blades moving down the back. Hands come down. Let's bring it back through to down dog. We'll take our left foot to meet our right foot. Right leg, let's bring that up to the sky this time. We will bend the knee, stack, and then try to open up the hip here. So give yourself that nice stretch. We will reset back, 3-limbed dog, right foot forward, left knee lowers. Let's bring it back on up. Feel the arms really active here. Feel the arms frame your ears. Fingers are active. Reach and stretch through the fingertips. Hands come down. Let's take our left foot to meet our right foot. We're going to float into that fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rising up on the inhale. Hands at heart. Exhale. Hands sweep up. Breathe in. Exhale. Float it down. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, left foot back, left knee lowers, hands reach up to the sky. Now see if you can drop into the breath here. Maybe feel your breath flowing in and flowing out through your nose. Hands come down, runner's lunge, down dog. Left leg to the sky, float it up. Let's bend, stack, open. Reset back, 3-limb dog. Left foot forward, right knee lowers. Hands reach up to the sky. Again, dropping into the breath. Breathing deeply into the stomach, the ribs, and the chest. Hands are going to float down. Let's bring it back through to a forward fold. Halfway lift, release, rise up. Hands at heart, exhale. Great job. Let's build on that. So we're going to try the full sun salutation A. Hands to the sky on the inhale. Float yourself down on the exhale. Bring yourself back through to a half lift. Plant your hands. Let's come into plank. We'll try for a high push-up pose. Knees can be up or down. We'll reverse push-up down, chaturanga. Up dog. Holding your up dog. Look off your right shoulder. Try to look back for your right toes. We'll bring ourselves back to center. Realign. Look off your left shoulder. Back to center. Lengthen. Press back to down dog on the exhale. Let's float it forward, back through into a fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rising up on the inhale. Hands at heart. Exhale. Let's try for one more here. Hands up. Inhale. And fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands. Bring it back through to plank. High push up. Knees up or down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Holding it here. Look off your left shoulder. Look back for your left toes. Back to center, lengthen. Gaze off your right shoulder. Back to center. Press it through, down dog. Float your toes to the hands. Let's bring it through. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Release. Rising up on the in-breath. Taking hands at heart on the out breath. Let's take a moment to pause here. So if you'd like, you could take one hand to your heart, maybe one to your navel, for hands at the heart space if you'd like. And we're just going to pause here for a moment. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just simply connecting with your body and your breath. This will feel our chest rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. Feel the navel rise on inhale, fall on exhale. And knowing each time that you breathe, you bring life, you bring oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Taking a nice deep full breath in here. Let's begin to sweep those hands up. We'll hold them in line with our shoulders and we'll pause. So we're going to take a sun salutation B here. We won't take a traditional one. We'll get a little creative with the flow through our warriors. Now let's bring it into chair from here. We'll drop the hips back and down. Try to send the weight into your heels. Toes are light. Almost a feeling like the toes could lift from the mat. Let's float it down into a forward fold. Bring yourself into a halfway lift. Plant your hands. Let's bring it back into a downward facing dog. Right leg, let's bring it up to the sky. Bend the knee, stack, open through the hip. Begin to circle out your knee a bit. So we'll find some movement there in the hip joint. Maybe find large circles here, maybe find small circles. And reverse, we will flow in the other direction. Let's bring that leg back on up, 3-limb dog, right foot forward, core engages. Let's bring it on up and we'll take a crescent warrior. So on our crescent warrior, also called high lunge pose, let's feel the left leg is really active. So we want to actively press out through the heel and the back of the knee. And then we'll give ourselves a nice deep inhale and a nice deep exhale. Springing off your left foot, let's come through for warrior 3 pose. We'll try for a balancing warrior. And lots of different variations with the hands if you'd like. So hands can be at the heart. You could reach and stretch your hands out in front. You can have the arms alongside the body, palms face down. Warrior 1 from here. Left foot lands down. We're going to press firmly into the outer edge of our left foot. Get that nice calf stretch and a nice hamstring stretch. Releasing the shoulders. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch. Lengthen here, we'll come down, finding a devotional warrior 1 pose. Try to relax the fronts of the shoulders. Just noticing if that helps you move a little deeper into the shoulder stretch. Core engages. Let's come on up. Warrior 1. We're going to open to warrior 2. So you may have to just readjust the feet a little bit on this one. We'll have our front heel in line with our back arch. Shoulders will be over the hips. And we'll take that nice deep bend in the front knee. We'll straighten out our front leg. Let's bring our hips back, hands reach and stretch forward. Hand lowers down, landing in triangle pose. We'll come into Trikonasana. Maybe imagining your body in between 2 panes of glass here. So imagine our body in one straight line. Shoulders stacking and opening, and hips stacking and opening. Rising up. Let's come back. Warrior 2. Windmill the hands down. Let's bring it to our runner's lunge. Step yourself back. Downward facing dog. Giving yourself a nice deep full breath here. Nice inhale and exhale. Sitting bones reaching and stretching to the sky. Left leg up, bend, stack, and open. Let's begin to circle out that knee. We'll find a bit of organic fluid movement here. And reverse, flow in the other direction. Left leg, let's bring it up to the sky, 3-limb dog. Float your foot forward. Core engages as you rise up. Landing in crescent, landing in high lunge. Maybe do a bit of a scan here of your body, noticing where you're holding on to tension. And then seeing if you can let that tension go as you exhale. Springing off your back foot, let's come through warrior 3 pose. So called Virabhadrasana tree. Finding your drishti, finding that one spot to focus your concentration and to focus your awareness. Let's take our foot down. We're going to try for warrior 1. So back heel grounded down, back foot at a 45-degree angle, deep bend in the front knee, hips and shoulders square forward, hands behind your body, fingers interlock, palms touch. Let's lengthen and fold down. Grounding into the feet, core engages as you rise. Warrior 1. Full breath here. We'll take warrior 2 when you're ready. Now, let's get active in those feet. So the feet won't actually move, but maybe imagine that you could pull your feet in towards one another. So arms are really active, and then those feet are really active, pulling in towards the center line of the mat. Let's straighten out that front leg. Hips will go back. Hands reach and stretch forward. Let's float it through. And then imagining if you could see your body, that you create triangle shapes here. So we create this large triangle through the legs in the earth, through the arm, through the side body, and through the leg. Rising up. Let's float it back through. Warrior two. Windmill the hands down. Let's bring it down into runner's lunge. We're going to float it back into downward facing dog. Let's walk the feet forward, bringing you into a forward fold. Find your way to a half lift. Float it down to the mat. Bending into the knees, let's float it into chair. We'll come into Utkatasana. Standing up, rising with the breath. Taking the hands at the heart as you exhale. Great job. Let's take a moment to work on a little hip opener standing. So we're going to work with the standing pigeon stretch. Let's bring our right leg up and over. So we'll create the figure four. And then begin to drop the hips back and down. Maybe extend your hands up if you'd like a little bit more shoulder stretch. And just like with all of our balancing poses, finding one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Let's release on the arms. We'll do a reset on that right foot, left leg up and over when you're ready. Hips go back and down. Hands sweep up. Try to get grounded through all the parts of your right foot. Press through the inside, through the outside. And then noticing your body's natural tendency, if you tend to roll in or tend to roll to the outside of the foot. Hands release. We'll do a reset on our foot. Feet come out nice and wide, and gently sweep the arms to the right and to the left. Let's take a moment. We'll work a little bit with our shoulders now. So for this one, let's get down onto the ground. We'll take our feet in line with our hips. We'll take our hands up and then bring it down to a fold. Finding your way to a halfway lift. Planting your hands, it's coming through into plank. High push-up. Knees up or down. We're going to hold our up dog this time. So let's lower down chaturanga. We'll come to an up dog here. So as we hold it, let's see if we can really breathe into that back bend for our low back, mid back, and upper back. Toes curl under, hips to sky. Let's take it to down dog. From here, let's come into plank, high push up, and then lower all the way down to the mat. Now we'll work with the shoulders. And one thing that I'll say is just be very mindful of your shoulders. If this pose doesn't work for you, just skip it. We definitely don't want to push it too much on this one. But to start, let's take our right hand off to the right side of the mat. And we are going to take our right palm and then face it down. So we want our palm facing down. That'll be the right rotation in the shoulder. So just being here might be a really good stretch, and you might want to hang out there. But if you would like to intensify, begin to roll onto the right side of your body, and then your left leg can come up and over, and it almost creates a little kickstand support. You can relax your head down on the mat. Now, to make this easier, take your left shoulder to the left side of the room and just feel that left hip rolling to the left. And then to make it more challenging, take your left shoulder and then roll it to the right. And I know that this can be a deep shoulder opener. So feel free to come out if needed, but if you're able to stay with it, try to connect with your breath. Take nice deep full inhales and exhales through your nose. And let's begin to roll onto the stomach. We'll take a breath here and then just resetting on the other side. So let's bring our left arm off to the left. And again, we're just gonna have our palm facing down for this one. Also have your hand in line with your shoulder. So it's just right off to the side there. We don't want it too far out in front or behind. So just this long line from fingertips to shoulder. And then we will roll onto the side body. And to make it easier, let's take that right shoulder and right hip towards the right. And to make it more challenging, let's take our right shoulder to the left. And we'll take that right hip to the left as well. You close your eyes here. And try to relax the eyebrows, relax the jaw. Try to relax the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Relax the upper, mid, and low back. And then relax through the legs and relax through the feet. And coming on out. So let's roll onto the stomach once again. And from here, we can press on up into a tabletop position. And let's come to seated from here. So if it feels comfortable, you may want to sit back onto your heels. This is called Vajrasana, Hero's Pose. It's going to open up your quads. You can always sit on your sitting bones and cross the legs. Let's take our hands onto the shoulders. And we'll begin to take our elbows forward. Let's take them up. We'll take them back and relax them down. Full breath in here. Let's bring those shoulders up, back, and down. And one more time. Let's inhale and exhale. Great. Now from here, let's begin to come into that seated position on the sitting bones. We'll meet there. And then we'll come on down to our backs. As you come down onto your back, take one hand to each knee. So right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. And we'll begin to circle out those knees out to the sides of the room. So we're going to take a nice big circle here and then sweep them back in through center. Sweep them out to the sides of the room and then sweep them in. Let's go 2 more times here. And reverse. We will flow in the other direction. Hug your knees into your chest, into the stomach. Give yourself a big squeeze. And we'll relax in Shavasana. We'll take our final pose of our yoga practice today. Feel free to relax the legs and relax the arms. If your low back is a little tender, feet can plant, knees are bent. This helps to relax the back muscles a little bit. Letting your eyes close. And just letting yourself relax here for a few moments. It's a really nice pose just to integrate the benefits of our practice into the mind and into the body. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Opening the breath, wiggling fingers and toes. Let yourself roll to the side. Find your favorite side. Roll to the right or to the left. And then press yourself on up into a comfortable seated position. Taking the hands at heart in prayer. Letting the eyes close. Ending practice with an Apache blessing. Looking behind, I'm filled with gratitude. Looking forward, I'm filled with vision. Looking upwards, I'm filled with strength. Looking within, I discover peace. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you for joining today. It's wonderful to have you here to practice yoga with you. I hope that you enjoy the practice today. If you're interested, I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back at 3 o'clock Eastern time for a 15-minute mindful stretch. Also, I wanted to mention, if you're participating in the word of the week, the letter for today is P as in Peter. So that's letter P. Take care, everyone. See you soon.